Hey there, Wargamers, Justin here, Painting, and today, boom, we're going to check out the new Battletech Starter Box. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. If you're new here, please alpha strike that like, subscribe button. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning in to help continue to support what I do. That said, today, like we mentioned in the intro, we're going to be checking out the Battletech Starter Box that CGL just released. Big shout out to one of my community members here who sent this to me for free so that I could get it on the channel as soon as possible. I pre-ordered these from Fortress Miniatures and Games, and things were delayed so much that they still have not arrived as of filming this. So he got them to me while he was out at Gen Con, which gets them to me early. Also, I really appreciate it. Know this. This is the Row Galaxy from Clan Ghost Bear. I have a whole bunch of minis next to me that were earmarked to be for Clan Ghost Bear at some point for that very galaxy. I even have decals. I'm not sure if I have them next to me. Nope, they are in the house. But I do have decals that I printed for those as well. They just not doing this paint scheme that's on the box, but pretty cool. So that said, don't know what this cost, but here we are. We'll check this out. Now this is going to be a 2 miniature set like the previous one, as this is meant to replace that, but to do essentially the same thing, but I think to usher in players into the more recent era where a lot of the books and the stuff have been focused on. So some of the original grognards for old guard, so to speak, for Battletech probably aren't going to like this that much, but it's new product, so I'm here to check it out. I don't have an opinion one way or another on that, as long as people can play. Actually, I lie. If I was to give one opinion on that, stuff that's in the older eras, if that ushers new people in, most of, if not all of those models, except for maybe Jihad mechs, those carry over to later eras, whereas if you jump into this and you try and go backwards to play with friends, that doesn't always work if you're trying to be era accurate. So that is one caveat that I would say the old guard can have a little bit of a say in, albeit it might be small. So as we check this out here, worth mentioning that if this is functioning like the previous box sets, the Alpha Strike cards for these are probably in that box. We will see. So we have got our unit cards here, which these are pretty sharp. They're definitely different. And I have to wonder if this is to match the new core book. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, the cards right there are different too. So let's open this up. Take a quick peek, and I know you guys, most of you who are watching are probably more interested in the minis, but we'll check this out. So I like this. Some of these things in the past have been double-sided with different units, but we've got this guy. I'm assuming first mission is wanting you to use these first, probably for some demo scenario in there, which would make sense. I wonder if there's any difference in the tonnage here. Yeah, so this has got different gear. This one isn't covering melee. This has claws. So this is probably play first, is my first guess. First impression, looking at these boxes. Don't tear my head off. I haven't read everything. You watched me open it. But I bet the first mission is meant to play with these to learn the basic rules. Then when you go into these, it's probably going to bring in different rules and so forth. Because this one's got the pulse laser, ER or small lasers, whatever. This has the small laser and pulse laser as well. But they're introducing the claw. So I think this is probably where you play a secondary mission or secondary scenario to be introduced to the melee rules, is my guess. I like that the back here has some history and basically a snippet of the TRO information for these. I think that is really cool. These feel slightly matte. I don't have a dry erase marker out here. I wish these were a little slick. This is really good for viewing on YouTube, but I would prefer to be complaining that they're shiny, because then you could dry erase on them. They might be dry erasable, but over time this material may or may not work as well as something slick. Your mileage may vary. I would probably find a way to laminate these or put a sleeve on them if this is something you care about. For the average player, they're probably going to use these once or twice and be done anyway. So on the back, okay, yep. So again, these said first, when you flip this over, this no longer has the TRO. It's bringing up, or introducing you to a standard record sheet, which is why the difference in what you would have. Then it's talking about additional rules, what the pulse lasers would do, and the claw attacks. So the stuff that was different on here is being introduced here. That's freaking awesome. Classic Battletech is really, really hard to approach for new players. This type of stuff I think is fantastic for new players because you're easing them into the rules. You went from basic introductory rules to understand information about the battle mech and its history, new rules and new stuff that's building off of that, explanation of some of the new rules and additional stuff you might do, and then an explanation of what's different if you played a full game without these intro sheets, because it's talking about stuff down here, and particularly the heat as well. So the same thing on this guy. So this guy. So this is where some of the guys in the community are going to be a little bit irritable when you're approaching new players. You're throwing a lot of new rules at them quickly in Classic Battletech, which is already rules heavy. So if you're playing Succession Wars era Battletech, or even maybe Clan Invasion, you have limited pools of tech for both sides that you have to learn. When you go into the Dark Age, there's a lot. And so this one's already talking about pulse lasers, which are on the other guy. You've got hardened armor and streak SRMs, which this guy, the claws may have a different thing, but melee is its own set of rules. This is going to augment melee. Pulse lasers are on both, but now this one, in addition to that, is coming with hardened armor and streak SRM. So you're throwing more and more rules at them, and that's going to be a thing in the Dark Age that comes up quite a bit. Not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but is a criticism that I think the old guard definitely has a point on, and that if you're trying to get someone new into the game, this era may have a lot of rules once they dive into it. Like if they were really like, hey, I like this iconic mech, I want to play with a Savage Wolf, they go get that record sheet for it, and they're like, yo, what are ATMs, what's this, what's that, what's all this gear? It's a lot. Versus if you take them back to Succession Wars, Succession War era, everything's really condensed, and it's super balanced, there's not as much tech. So if you start there and you build up, you can learn the new things and be gradually exposed to it. If you jump in here, once you open that floodgate, it's a lot all at once, which could be overwhelming for some people. So I totally get that criticism. This guy here, same thing, hardened armor, pulse lasers, just like the other guy, bringing up the record sheets. So I think that is really good. Now we're getting into a couple of models. I bet these are double-sided. Nope, okay, happy to be wrong. So these are from the core box, which I wonder if the other box, we'll see when I get to it, if it has the other sheets to mirror this. So we've got this guy, which is the Solitaire. He is not in here, but if you were to buy that core box and couple with here, this is going to give you some intro sheets to run those guys as you're learning the game. You've got the Uziel. And again, now you're bringing in a target computer and a PPC, so new stuff. Discount Dan's Mad Cat. And so this one sounds like it's got, okay, so extended LRM 10s. That's new to me, but whatever. I mean, there's clan LRMs, which are extended range anyway, basically. This should be pretty easy for most people to discern what it does. Our lasers were already on the other ones. So on the back, there's no new rules. It's just a big explanation of what the standard sheet might look like. So all in all, I think that's pretty good. I like these. I think they should be doing more of this kind of stuff. I've said it for a long time. The premium record sheets that they've done in the past, more stuff like this looks flashy. If you're at a store and you're playing with someone whips these out and they're doing this, someone new walks by uninitiated, this draws a lot more eyes than the white and black standard printouts. There's nothing wrong with those, but when we're trying to get new players in, that is a way to do it. So as we open this here, we've got our cards. I believe these are the pilot cards. So we've got two different pilots. There's one Snow Raven, one for Clan Seafox, and then Razzlehog Dominion. And, oh, it's got a chassis there instead of the affiliation. Oh, Solaris 7. Okay, I see. Got it. So these are oriented differently than our old cards, which I've got a set here. They would look like this. And for new players, they might not know what this means, gunnery and your piloting. So we kind of discern that because that seems like it's a targeting reticle and this is your movement. They have made that more explicit. I think that's good. Whoops, sorry guys. They streamline that. So 4 gunnery, 3 piloting if you're using these, and they explain what they do. So these largely don't get a lot of use, I think, for most people, but for new players, it gives them a way to get some cool piloting abilities to try. These also look flashy. I do wish that they tried to make them still cohesive with these for us collectors who sleeve them and have binders just full of shit that doesn't matter. It'd be nice if they matched. That's a small thing. I still think this is nice. All right, so we'll get to the mechs momentarily. Got a pair of dice so you and your opponents, whoever you're playing with, can jump right in. So we've got our basic information, it looks like kind of a primer to Battletech stuff. So letting you know what it is. Okay, so now I bet these are going to be, is this an expansion thing? No, okay. So once you've played, we've got this flyer in that's saying what to do next. That's kind of silly. There's no code. That seems kind of goofy. It says try out our online store. On us to explore this host of additional miniature source books, merch, and more. Just input this code during checkout for 20% off. Limit 1 per person. No code. So that's kind of a bummer. Doesn't matter for me, but for a new player, they might be really jazzed to get more stuff, and then they see that, which would have been an incentive, and now it's not there. So go to Fortress Miniatures and Games, bring that up, description or link in the description below. You're going to get a discount from Bobby on everything you buy anyway. So this is giving you an explanation on where to go next, what you need to get. This looks like it's mostly focused towards classic anyway, but it's going to tell you what to go, and it's even got that core box, which makes sense. So then on this side, just another explanation for your sheets, and then where to start and what things or how some of the basic things for playing the game. So makes sense. Okay, so those extra sheets, while these will work if you buy the core box, you've got standees that match them too. I dig that. I'm always a fan of extra components, so these will be useful as well. We'll get to the quick start rules in a minute. And then we've got a map in here. One of my critiques on some of these is some of the stuff is hard to read. The hexes aren't the easiest thing to see. It's a very dark map. The light, where they've written light and heavy and stuff, is really easy to see, but the green is so dark that it's hard to see some of the hexes. On this side, not so bad. That's very easy to see. On this side, looking at the screen, like, yeah, I can get closer and you can see it. If you move far away at first glance, hard to see. So that's a small thing. I'm surprised they didn't catch that. So, all right, so let's throw this stuff back in. Boop. And check out. So quick start rules. All right, so yep, you're exactly right. Using the first mission record sheets that were noted. That makes sense. So it's going through how to play, resolving your attacks, determining damage, end of game. Your movement modes and phases, which makes sense. Explains what the dice do. Going through your rotations, you're moving forward, backward, whatnot. Makes sense. It's also telling you what your TMMs are going to be. I dig that. Okay. Your movement costs going through terrain makes sense. Going through your weapon attacks, walking you through pretty good. Yep. Okay. Your modifiers for shooting, cool. Your hit tables, and then all the mods for what you would what's going to be happening. You've covered all that here. It's presented again, which makes sense. Okay. And then looks like you're just going through a basic turn, explaining how this works, bringing everything you just read all together. Yep, damage, resolution, all that stuff. Yep, transferring damage, how it's going in, where it's going to go. Also, I believe this is Portable on Instagram, so check him out. His artwork is fantastical. All right, so you've done the first mission. Yep, and then going to the second mission, and then additional missions, how to do stuff, which is good. It's going through the cards and explain to you how to use those. I dig that. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yep, so the only thing that I would give as a critique is this, is I wish there was a cardboard quick reference like this in there that you just have once you've got through. That's small, and that may be in the core box. I haven't opened that yet. So the components that are present in here, I think they are fantastic. I don't know what this costs, but I think this is going to be a really easy way to streamline getting people into or teach them how to play Classic. It's not bad. I don't remember how the old box was laid out. It's been a while since I looked at it. This seems pretty good. That said, let's go ahead and zoom in, and we'll check out the mechs. So let's bring up the record sheets, so that's going to make my life easier. So we're going to have a Hammerhead, and the other guy I do not recognize, Contillo. I have no idea what a Contillo is. So let's go ahead and zoom in on those and check them out. So we'll do the Hammerhead first. A little bit tighter on that. All right. So taking a peek at this guy. All right, so this is where I get into the bread and butter of my reviews or first looks. The underside of this arm, pretty soft. This is what we expect from this plastic injection from this point. Top side's a little bit sharper, which is nice. Underside of this arm is actually not terrible, which is odd, but it's probably the way the parts were oriented when they pulled them out and socketed everything in. Underside's here, a little soft. Again, you're not going to see much of that anyway. The top of him, not too bad. It's slightly soft back in here, but the details towards the front of the mech right up at this top part are pretty sharp, so it should catch a dry brush pretty well. The pips in here for what looks like his SRMs look really sharp, which is nice given where they are, but when you see this line, there's a line right here. It looks like this was the second piece that capped on, which is exactly why they were able to orient this in such a way that those held fidelity, so I dig that. That looks really good. The claws details are a little soft. It would have been cool if one was open. I get why they aren't. The arms here look pretty all right. The basic cleanup with mold lines. They hid some here. It's crossing around the cylinder and coming down, following that line. So good place to hide it. Side of the legs look reasonable. Left leg's got kind of a roundedness here. It probably shouldn't. This one's a bit more sharp. So, and then right in here, kind of sharp, getting a little soft, and then kind of soft and smudgy over here. So it's basically what you've come to expect from their hard plastics. If you're, or I don't think it's hard plastic. Whatever this is, their plastic injection. It's what you've come to be used to, or come to expect. Top down's probably pretty good. The mold lines don't seem super egregious though. I'm not seeing a lot of that stand out. So not bad. They hid them well. So coming over to the Contillo. Let's check that bad boy out. This is a goofy looking dude. The artwork over here is showing 3 sensor dots on his head and then his cockpit canopy down here. So we're seeing one dimple here, but definitely not a sensor. Jeweling that's going to be a pain. There should be one here and here, which are non-existent. It looks like that there's the outline of where it would have been, but if it's supposed to be there, the mold was dookie duke. The claws on the hands don't look too bad. Those arms actually look reasonably sharp. The panel lines on this arm look pretty good. This one not as much. That one's okay, but it's getting really soft and muddy right in here, so not a big fan of that. Front of the torso seems pretty all right. Lasers seem all right. These little details here are really, really soft. Right in there. You can barely catch that with your thumb. This side's a little better. You can't see it that well. The back of them is all right. There's not a lot of detail here to begin with. Yep. The tops of the legs are okay. There's a little bit of slippage, a little bit of cleanup that's going to have to happen. So all in all, the Contillo is not nearly as good as the Hammerhead, in my opinion. The loss of the sensor suites, or whatever these are on his head, there should be 3. That dimple there has basically nothing. They've done really good with these. Let me give you an example. It's not the exact same thing, but let me grab one. All right, so when you're looking at something like the Puma, now bear with me, these are big, but you've got like the circle inside of another circle, and then the housing here. So there's like a ring with like the gym where it would be, right? So like circle, and then like imagine like a marble here. So like, okay, circle, and then the gym, right? And then the housing around it, right? So that's what this guy's got here. So if you're doing something similar on him for his eyeball sensors on his head, they don't have to be this big, right? They've done stuff like this before. But having something there to paint right now, this just looks kind of, honestly, like, let me get zoomed in. I'm gonna make a joke. Let me see if I can get focused in on his head, and we'll keep it politically correct. And we're gonna quote Fred Durst here. The dimple on his forehead looks like a chocolate starfish. It does not look like this. Those. That dimple looks like a butt. It's not great. And then there's supposed to be one here, and they're non-existent. So, not the greatest. The Hammerhead, I think, looks superior. So, that said, folks, that is my first look at the new beginner box. Is that what they were calling this thing? Starter box. I think the other one was called a beginner box. That's my first look at the starter box. If you are already initiated into Battletech, is this for you? Probably not. But if you're already initiated into Battletech, it probably is something you're going to pick up, because you're probably going to want the models, because this is where they are. Unless you want to pay for, there might be a plastic Hammerhead somewhere else. Unless you want to pay for other boxes or singles or metals, this is where you would get them. So I think it's good. I think it's gonna be really good for new players and for anyone who wants to pick up the models. The fidelity on this guy's head is just really bad. Hammerhead's not bad. Everything else that I talked about on these is stuff that you have come to expect from the plastics from catalystgamelabs. So that said though, folks, that's all I've got for you guys today. As always, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, keep painting those models, keep rolling those dice, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and being here with me today. I pour a lot of time and passion into every video, and I genuinely hope it adds something to your hobby experience. If you've enjoyed today's content and want to see more, consider supporting me over on Patreon. Every little bit of support helps fuel what I'm doing here, and it truly makes a difference. Whether it's a few dollars or simply sharing the channel with others, your support means the world to me and allows me to keep doing what I love and hopefully inspiring you along the way. A huge thank you as well to all my sponsors, Monument Hobbies, Fortress Miniatures and Games, Baron of Dice, and Death Designs as well. Their backing is vital to the channel, and if you're in the market for top quality paints, miniatures, dice, or terrain, please check out their links below. Not only will you be picking up some great products, but you'll also be supporting this growing community we share together. Thank you so much for watching, and for your time, and for being a part of this journey with me. As I sign off today, let's go ahead and highlight some awesome patrons who are helping fuel this journey we're on together and helping keep things going.